UFC 299 was a legendary event, and I could not let this day go by without matchmaking for some of the main fighters who fought on that card. I did not include Sean O'Malley on here because what's the point? We all know he should be fighting Merab next. I did a video on Merab calling O'Malley out to his face, and O'Malley seemingly not wanting any smoke. So what's the point in repeating what I've already said? The King of Louisiana. It does not make sense for him to get a title shot next whatsoever. And again, there is no bigger fan of Dustin Poirier than myself. But I'm realistic. He doesn't deserve the next title shot. That needs to go to the winner of the Charles Oliveira-Arman Tsarukyan fight on UFC 300. Justin Gaethje has beaten him, but they are 1-1. So Poirier, in a way, maybe should be fighting Justin Gaethje if he gets by Max Holloway. It's a weird one to have Max Holloway fight Dustin Poirier for a third time because he's lost twice. Granted, the second fight was absolute bananas, but still, it doesn't really make sense. It makes sense for excitement, but Poirier, I feel that because of everything he's done, because Justin Gaethje has had a failed shot at the belt after losing to Khabib, much like Dustin has, I feel, even though he just knocked out Dustin, they should do a third fight. Because Justin Gaethje doesn't deserve to jump back in the mix in terms of getting a title shot next, in my opinion. Then on to Michael Venom Page. Now, I did not do a post-fight video because I was expecting to do more videos than I did after the event, so I just misjudged that one. But if you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen by my comments on the news feeds that I was not impressed by what I was seeing, simply because this was like a stuntman show. It was a spectacle, not high-level MMA. And the fight turned out to be what I expected, because I said that Kevin Holland can easily win this fight for me if he takes Michael Venom Page down. But he did not shoot it all in the first round. He took him down in the second. And in the third round, he seemed to just not care. I mean, one of the reporters brought it up to Dana White at the end, at the post-fight press conference. He said, "Do you feel Kevin Holland kind of gave up?" He did. Kevin Holland just had a mind blank again, and oh man, it's just so frustrating with this guy. But we've come to expect it, so that's why I picked Michael Venom Page to win by decision, and he did. But there was nothing new to his game. There was no follow-up shots after the big explosive blitz. There was a lot of clowning, which is just, I know it may look entertaining, but let's be real, this is supposed to be high-level MMA. This is one of the biggest pay-per-view cards we've ever seen. You're not supposed to be seeing top fighters clown each other like that. Like this, you're not supposed to be able to do it at the top level. This isn't back in the days of Nick Diaz goading his opponents and slapping them. So anyway, that aside, I don't know what the plan is for Michael Venom Page, because is the UFC really planning on him fighting for a belt and building him up like any hype train? Because he's not going to win that title. I say that he's not getting anywhere close to that belt, I guarantee it. So I think a good fight for him might be Stephen Thompson, or just because that would be a great striking match, or this may sound contradictory, but I don't think this guy's going to win the belt either, Ian Gary. And I'll do a video breaking that down. But even though I wasn't impressed with Michael Venom Page in terms of high-level MMA, I, again, don't expect him to get anywhere close to the belt, but the guys I just mentioned, they're not going to fight for the belt either, and styles make fights, so I can see MVP maybe doing okay there. And if you saw the post-fight press conference, you would have heard Dana White, when he was asked about MVP's performance, he said, "Yep, he's good, but we need to match him carefully." So he admits that they have to make this guy with ease because, again, he's not getting to that belt. Then we've got Curtis Blaydes. Now, first of all, congrats to him. I was very tempted to pick him, but it just felt weird to write off a up-and-comer like that in Jailton Almeida. But boy, oh boy, I regret not putting more money on Curtis Blaydes specifically to win. I just felt the fight would get out of the first round, because Almeida really has no heart. Like, as soon as he gets tired, this guy does not push through adversity. He just slums. I mean, it's embarrassing. And not only that, but this guy's got his cardio is beyond awful. Jailton Almeida is actually a reflection of just how bad the heavyweight division is. And it's never been good, but you could actually compare this division to Andrei Arlovski versus Tim Sylvia, back when they were knocking each other out every weekend. Like, the division at heavyweight is terrible, and Jailton Almeida is a reflection of that. But I do not want to see Curtis Blaydes fight Cyril Gane, because Gane does not deserve it. Gane, if I had a channel years ago, I would have done videos on this. Gane did not deserve a shot against John Jones. It should have been Curtis Blaydes. Curtis Blaydes, much like Dustin Poirier tonight, much like Robert Whittaker, much like many other fighters, he has to do more for less credit. Cyril Gane, just because he's a big, smiley, funny guy, he gets more credit than his resume deserves. And Curtis Blaydes is more skilled. Yeah, Curtis Blaydes, I don't want to see him give Cyril Gane that opportunity. Even though Gane is ranked higher, those rankings don't mean anything. Gane does not deserve to be ranked where he is. So Curtis Blaydes should get a shot at Tom Aspinall if John Jones is going to goof around with the Stipe Miocic fight. Then, Macy Barber. Wasn't terribly impressed with her performance. I know Caitlin Sermonara is not the easiest opponent to look good against, but she had been off for so long. She had had maternal problems. Macy Barber, again, I want to give her credit because she does bring a lot of excitement to this division for women's MMA. She has an interesting personality. She's not cocky and arrogant to where she's unlikable like so many other fighters, like Ronda Rousey, like Juliana Pena being the worst. She has a fun personality. She's somewhat interesting. She's easy to talk to, good with media, and she does put on exciting fights. I mean, the way she laid out Amanda Ribas was impressive, but her striking defense is not good. She gets caught way too much. Her distance management still is terrible. I mean, I remember seeing her hit air when she was fighting Alexa Grasso and Miranda Maverick in that horrible decision. I'm starting to question whether Macy Barber will get to the bout. I'm sure she'll challenge for it, but is she going to win it? I mean, I'm not sure if I would pick her to beat Valentina Shevchenko now. I know she's confident, but yeah, skill-wise, not very impressed with what I'm seeing. So I think Macy Barber should fight the loser of the Manon Fiorot-Erin Blanchfield fight, because Valentina Shevchenko is challenging Grasso again, and they're doing the Ultimate Fighter, unfortunately. Then we got Petr Yan. Now, it's an interesting situation Yan is in, because he lost to the champion, but really he should have won that fight. It was not the worst robbery of all time, not even close, but he should have won it. So, technically, you would think maybe he deserves a title shot, but the guy who dominated him last time, 5-0, Merab, Yan has beaten Sandhagen, so again, you would think that should put him above Sandhagen, but Corey, he deserves a title shot, but again, this Pedro Munoz fight has held things up and is just a terrible decision. Maybe fight Henry Cejudo if Cejudo wants to come back, but I don't think that fight will end well for Cejudo. I'd actually like to see Petr Yan versus Davison Figueiredo, because I'm sure Figueiredo is going to destroy Cody Garbrandt at 300. That is fighting down in the rankings, but after losing to Merab the way he did, who many people see as the best in the division, maybe it's not so bad to fight somebody that much lower than him. And then we got Jack Della Maddalena. He called his shot. He called out Shavkat Rakhmonov. I can only give him credit, but Shavkat Rakhmonov is the boogeyman. Bilal Muhammad wants nothing to do with this guy. Kamaru Usman wanted nothing to do with this guy. Colby Covington wants nothing to do with this guy. I would love to say that I can see Jack Della Maddalena winning, but I just can't, because Rakhmonov is not only incredibly skilled, he's not just well-rounded, he's not just good in all areas, but he's huge. Like, how are you going to beat this guy in a striking battle? I know Jeff Neal was landing big shots on Rakhmonov, but that was a learning experience for Rakhmonov, and I felt that he wanted to prove something in that fight. You saw against Stephen Thompson when he had a messed up foot. He did everything he could to take that fight to the ground. So I don't think Rakhmonov will be such an open target against future opponents. And even if he is, Jack Della Maddalena is going to have to walk through hell, literally, to get to Rakhmonov. And again, it's not just Rakhmonov is big, but he's very, very technical. When you give this guy the chance to land, when you step into his range and you are trying to set up your own shot, he has got kicks, knees, elbows coming, and he will walk you into them. He's very, very technical. And is he going to be able to stop Shavkat Rakhmanov's takedowns? I know Rakhmanov doesn't shoot like Gilbert Burns, but he's much younger, huge, and Della Maddalena was not the greatest in terms of stuffing Gilbert Burns' takedown. So if Rakhmanov took him down, I mean, I don't know if this guy's going to survive. So again, I would love to say I can see Della Maddalena winning, but I can't. I think Rakhmanov will dominate him and put him out badly. But again, I can only give the man credit for calling his shot, because I think Rakhmanov is going to wreck everybody in this division. I'm very, very high on this man. So let me know what you guys think down below about my thoughts on who these guys should and girls should all fight. Let me know down below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more, as always.